This is Randy Lawson, and you're listening to the 3 Count Podcast.
Welcome, everybody, to another great edition of the 3 Count Podcast presents Now Entering the Ring. Apparently, I have an echo. I am your host, Clifford Red Dog Miller. As always, we're here. We're joined with our panelists. And let's go down the roster. First, she's the only person tattooed on my body. She's sitting right next to me. She is cute. She is 4'8" of pure fury. Her name is Kira.
Hello.
Hi.
Next, next up on the list, he is the king of napping out. That's all he likes to do. He has no qualifications in the wrestling world except for that he watches Wrestle Talk, Cultaholic, and What Culture Wrestling. He is Napster JJ.
First, I'd like to thank the sidewalks to keep me off the street. Dangerous times out here. There's a revolutionary war going on, so make sure you guys are locked and loaded. Chitty chitty bang, murder everything. That's all for me.
And our newest correspondent. This man is a B-rated movie star. You see him on every daytime television show out there. He played Doctor Number 3 in General Hospital. He's also played in reverse episodes of ER. He is the man, the myth, the super legend himself, Jeremy Showtime Grimes.
And I've also been on Grey's Anatomy, but you forgot that. It's all good.
It's the first time we're going to make mistakes. It's okay. But this is Now Into the Ring, which means that we have a special guest for you. This young, lovely lady has been all around the world. You have seen her at Stardom. You have seen her at Women of Honor. You have seen her worldwide. She is the one, the only Gabby Ortiz.
What's up? What's up? I'm in a car. I'm on the beach. Summer fun is happening right now.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I heard your interview on Nerds of Wrestling, so I was like, "What up, wrestling?" I was like, "We know Justin Del Rio very well. We've had him on the show a couple times, right?" And that's why I was like, "We got to go out and try to get her." So we have a set of questions for you. Each of us will have a set. The biggest thing too, we have 10 count questions right at the end. So here's how we start this off. Who is Gabby Ortiz?
Gabby Ortiz, of course, is me turned up to like 14, 15. She's everything I've ever wanted to be. She's a pop star. She's a rock star. She's a wrestling star. And she just gets what she wants when she wants it, how she wants it. And is a lot cooler than I am in my everyday life.
So, my favorite question to ask every single person, right, is what is your favorite fan interaction?
Honestly, it's funny you say that, Justin Del Rio, because him and I have been corresponding for a good while since before I met him, and we had just been trying to meet up, and like I've been trying to get bookings in New England that he could go to, and then once I finally did, it was like meeting an old friend. So that was really, really cool to finally get to meet him after all those years of him supporting me and being an amazing fan, and now I consider him a friend. So whenever I get to meet a fan and be their friend, that is always the best.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. So I gotta ask, like, I know I went through, did a lot of research. I know you've been at Stardom. Tell me what that trip was like and what made it super special.
Yeah, so about 3 years ago, I was there at this time 3 years ago. And it was the first time I had been that far away from home for that long. And it was really, really scary at first, but then it just became home. Then it just became like a second home. It felt like they had taken a little bit, like maybe a week or two to kind of accept me because I was so brand new in the wrestling community. I had less than 10 matches before I went there in the United States. So when I went there, they were kind of weary of me, and I was like really scared of them because, you see about like Japanese strong style, and you see about, the way the girls are there. And I might get heat for this, but like, I think the girls sometimes are way more intense than the guys because they kind of have to be to show that they're on that same level as them. because they're always intense, and it's amazing to watch. So I was definitely a little worried, but then when you go in there, it's like you're family, and they start accepting you, and you're just family. And at the end of my trip, you know, they all said goodbye to me, and I just went. I was like, group hug, and we all got together and started jumping up and down and having just like a huge goodbye cry fest. And I was like so sad to leave. I was excited to go home because I missed everybody, but I was just really, really sad to say bye to all those girls. Yeah, I mean, it was an amazing time. You'll talk to any other foreign girl that's been there. They'll tell you the same thing.
That's awesome. So we're going to pass it over to Miss Kira, and she's got a set of questions for you.
Cool beans.
How did you come up with your character?
I just took elements of myself that was like kind of hard to implement in real life. Like it's not nice to be a mean girl or a, you know, overly confident girl in real life because people just think you're mean. They think you're a little cocky, and you're really not. So I had to just take those little parts of me that I was able to pretend to be in a wrestling ring that I can't be in real life. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I look in the mirror, I'm like, wow, I look really good today. Or like, I look super hot. And then if you say that to someone in real life, they're like, okay. Like they think but if you say that as a wrestling character, people are like, oh, cool. You're really cool. And it's just weird. So that's what I did.
Who was your most wanted wrestler to wrestle?
Bianca Belair. I think she is a super freak. She is an insane athlete, and it would be an absolute honor to wrestle her.
Other than yourself, who is your favorite wrestler?
I'm going to get a little sappy here. My boyfriend, Leon St. Giovanni, is my favorite wrestler.
Right on. So we'll pass it over to Josh. You're under Chaz's name. To Josh.
Okay, so my first question for you would be, what's the best advice you can give to up and coming wrestlers coming into the industry?
Sure. Know your place, because you don't want to be going there acting like you know everything, because you definitely don't. But don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask all the questions you can, because if you get a hold of a wrestler, they will tell you everything that they know, and they will love to share with you. It's not like a secret society anymore. You know, even the most casual fans know some of the secrets. So just ask questions and be humble. Yeah.
Okay. My next question will be, what is the worst bump you've ever taken throughout your career so far?
It was a DVD I took, a Death Valley Driver that I took into a buckle during a 30-minute Iron Woman match. And this was about 28 minutes into the match. Yikes. I was out of it for like 2 days after that. I was puking on the ride home. It was horrible. It was so bad. But the match was dope, so it was worth it.
All right, and then my final question for you would be, let's say we had a time machine and we travel 5 years from now. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself being a big name on the indies. I want to stay on the indies. I like the freedom of it. I like the fun you can have with it. I like that you can be a little bit more personable with the fans. So I just want to be a big indie name, and then maybe the next year go on to being signed to maybe like a company like Impact or, you know, Ring of Honor again, because I would like to sign another contract with them.
And then last but not least, we have Showtime.
Man, I am so like unprepared whenever it comes to this, so I'm just gonna wing it because I don't have like a little checklist like you guys do. You didn't send me mine. So what would you consider like your I've been to plenty of Ring of Honor shows, and I had the privilege of being part of the ring crew lately before the whole coronavirus. What would you say is like some of the coolest things that you were able to do? Because I was able to interact with like certain people like Matt Taven and Dalton Castle, and that was really cool for me. So,
I mean, getting close to the people in the locker room, men and women alike, that's always really cool. Because they're people you looked up to growing up. They're people that you've seen wrestle, at shows that you've paid to go to, and now you're being paid to be there. That's just like one of the coolest things that you could ever do as a wrestler. But I think my first match being in a tag team with Sumi Sakai, because she is near and dear to my heart, one of my closest friends in wrestling and probably in life. So being in a tag team with her when I first started wrestling at Ring of Honor was probably like the best memory that I have there. And in Philly, which is where I'm from.
Right on. Just had one. I lost it. Man, that's
Sorry.
Great. Who would you say gave you your best advice in wrestling?
The advice that I gave, earlier, which be quiet and be humble, was from Danny Cage, my original first ever trainer from the Monster Factory, or AKA the MSPW. He's the one that really told me that and really dug it in me, and also to be professional, as professional as you possibly can, in and outside of the locker room, in and outside of the ring. That's from Danny Cage, and he's given me so many amazing lessons that have helped me in wrestling and just in real life. Yeah.
Cliff, man, you kind of put me on the spot here, but I don't really have anything else. You guys took all the good questions. You left me with nothing.
So I got one more question for you. It's a question we love to ask people. What's the hardest you've ever been hit in the ring?
I feel bad I forget her name. Damn it. Sorry.
She knocked a name out of you.
Yeah, oh my God. Was it Kiona? I think it was Kiona. And it was in Stardom, my first match there at Yokohama. It's called Yokohama Radiant Hall. She kicked the ever-living crap out of me in my head. I'll send you the clip if you want me to, and you can actually see, how intense it was. I had the biggest, bruise right here on my face. And I had a photo shoot the next day, so I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have a big bruise on my face for photo shoots. And then I realized, oh, Photoshop exists, and they covered it up completely. But yeah, that was the hardest I've ever been hit in wrestling. I think that was my breaking in. That was my little bit of hazing for the Japanese pro wrestling scene.
One other question I have to ask, right? Because we are huge fans. Obviously, we understand we lost one of our favorites in Hana Kimura. I know you had a match with her. Tell us about the process of just being in a ring with her and someone that had such a bright future like her.
I was hoping you asked me about her because that's my favorite match I've ever had in my entire career. Sorry. She was just my friend. Even when I left, her and she's the one I kept the most in contact with. Because she's friends with my friend Cheeseburger, and then there's just there's just a couple of us that stayed tight, even though we weren't together in the same country. She was absolutely incredible. When she found out that we were having a match, she came up to me and she said, "It is such an honor to have this match with you." This was before we planned anything. This was before we even got in the ring together. And I was like, this girl is telling me she's honored to have a match with me. I'm honored to have a match with her. She was incredible. So we had 3 matches together, 2 tag team matches and 1 singles match. The singles match is the best match I've ever had because she was just there for me and I was there for her. And we created an unbreakable bond, even in the afterlife, I would say. I still feel her with me. And I can't wait to get back in the ring because every match I have is going to be dedicated to her.
That's awesome. And I understand still it's a touchy subject. So I thank you so much just for even just talking to us a little bit about it because it's amazing to get to know people who understand the spirit of her and how great she was. And that's why I want to make sure that people keep remembering her in a positive light and just keeping her in a positive light because she was just an incredible person.
Yeah.
So I don't want to sound weird. We're going to transition over into something a little bit more lighthearted. So we have the 10 count questions for you. First thought that comes to your mind. We have the imaginary timer that's about to go off in 3, 2, 1. Bing! Y'all see it? So here we go. SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
Last time you laughed out loud?
Earlier today.
That's your question, by the way.
NXT or AEW?
AEW.
There you go. Favorite stipulation match?
Ladder matches.
Nice. This is also her question.
Favorite movie?
School of Rock.
It's a great movie. Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Favorite cartoon character?
Louise Belcher from Bob's Burgers.
Let's go. Let's go. Favorite candy?
Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Big cups.
Right on. This is also her question.
Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts?
Oh, there we go.
Dunkin' Donuts.
Dunkin'.
America runs on Dunkin'.
America runs on Dunkin'. And then, Kara, cover your ears. Favorite curse word?
Ooh, I can't say that one. Oh, she's right there.
You said she got her ears covered. She can't hear
Apple.
nothing. There we go.
Apple.
Well, that's it for the 10 count questions. We're so glad. If you could do me a favor, just tell our listeners where they can find you.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Gabby, Gabby. I know some wrestlers are weird about adding their personal Facebooks. You can add mine. I'm at Gabriella Belpre. That's GabrielleBelpre. And you can add me on there. I'll add you back.
Awesome. So, with that being said, I feel like that's like kind of a great place to wrap things up. So, I am your host, Clipper Red Dog Miller, the little one Kira, JJ the Napster, the Showtime Grimes. This is Now Entering the Ring with Gabby Ortiz, and you guys can listen to all of our other episodes. So be at our next episode so you can, be there or just be somewhere else.
Why would you want to be anywhere else?
My point.
Hey guys, if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to our channel to get the best content from the 3 Count. We're the best podcast out there. Don't let anyone tell you different. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at 3CountPod, as well as on Twitter at 3Count_pod.